What's really funny to me is that I was just on another show, our national college football show, when the quote-unquote schedules came out for the 26, 27, 28, and 29 seasons in the SEC. In case you've missed it, the SEC is going to a 9-game conference schedule, which I was not in favor for, nor do I think you should have been in favor for, as your team plays in the SEC. I'm not going down that rabbit hole again tonight because it means nothing. You're going to a 9-conference game schedule. If I sit here and moan, bitch, and complain, it doesn't matter. Even though I hear a lot of people say, you should go to 9. It creates more competitive advantage. No, it doesn't. Not from a national playoff perspective. It doesn't. And I've made my stance very clear on that and have given you all of the evidence from a national playoff perspective how it is not. Regardless, you're going to 9 games. And the SEC did warn everybody that, look, there's going to be some situations when we're going to 9 games that there's a chance that you're going to play an opponent on the road in back-to-back seasons, and that's exactly what happened to LSU. Today, the SEC announced that they're going on the road in back-to-back seasons to Oxford. It's funny that you're playing Ole Miss this weekend. It's funny that it gets released, and this will be a talking point the week and the day and the week leading up to you playing Ole Miss while you're going to Oxford. The other thing in that, though, is that you play Texas A&M, who is a permanent opponent of yours, and the permanent opponents that we talked about last night, you get them at home in back-to-back seasons as well. Guys, I got to be real with you. When we're in the season before, it is a good talking point. And I will bring up the games that you do have next season just for those who do care about it. But the games that you will have next season, I'll list off the home games that you will have. Next season, you will play at home Clemson, McNeese State, Texas, Texas A&M, Alabama. So you get the Alabama game again. Mississippi State. Oh, and by the way, you have to add another game at home to this because LSU is in search of another opponent. On the road, you'll play Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Ole Miss. Now, let's stop right there. That is a hell of a home slate in 2026. That's a hell of a away slate in 2026 as well. You go back to Auburn, you go to Kentucky, you go to Tennessee for the first time in a while, you got Arkansas and Ole Miss. Guys, if that is the road schedule that you get, and which you will get in 2026, you go Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Ole Miss based off of the games that you get at home. You got Texas at home. You got A&M at home. You got Alabama at home. You got Clemson at home. Guys, being an LSU fan in 2026, there's going to be a hell of a lot of really fun home games. Good on us. I think it's very favorable for you in 2026 as well. If you're going to ask me the opponents that I would rather face at home versus away, I don't mind the schedule. And if I have to trade off Ole Miss and going on the road to Ole Miss in back-to-back seasons versus I'm getting Alabama at home, Texas at home, A&M yet again at home, and Clemson at home, sign me up for it. Sign me up for it. That is a hell of a slate. Now, what are you going to be as a team in 2026? Now, I would tell you, I do think LSU attacks the portal at a pretty high rate again next year. Do you add a home game with Tulane next season? I don't know. I do not know. But what I do know is I love that home slate. Clemson, Texas, Texas A&M, Alabama, Mississippi State. I am all here for it. It's going to be really fun. Look, you're just going to have to go through it. I'm not going to go through every year. I don't think we should go through 2027. It doesn't matter. 2028 doesn't matter. 2029 doesn't matter. You do get Florida, I think, if memory serves me correctly. You got them in 2027. Let me just make sure here. Yes, you play Florida in 2027. You play, let's see, Tennessee comes home in 2028. You have Georgia. I don't see Georgia anywhere until, you don't play Georgia until 2029. Georgia. Nope. Georgia. Nope. Sorry. You play them on the road in 2027. Okay. Why can't we just go back to back? I don't know. Makes no sense. Regardless, very, very fun home slate for 2026 season, and we'll go from there. Everyone do us a favor. Hit the like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Every AYS Sports show is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Got the discretionary income? Go over to FanDuel.com and sign up today. Guys, I keep doing my $1 20-leg parlays, and I don't hit on any of them. That's because it's so difficult. I bet a $1 parlay every single Saturday. Let's go have fun. Now, I tell all of you, if you don't have the discretionary income, if you don't know how to place bets, if you don't know what you're doing, either get some assistance or don't go over there at all. But you and I, as massive sports fans, we love putting a little couple of change, a little couple of dollars here and there on some games. It makes the intrigue and fun that much greater. However, go over to FanDuel. The reason they're the number one sports book in the country is because of their website, how they do things, their features, their futures. All of it is absolutely fantastic. Hell, if you think at FanDuel that Fernando Mendoza is actually going to win the Heisman as he is on top of the boards as of right now, then go over there and place it. But FanDuel.com is the place to be. And if you have any more questions or have concerns, go over to FanDuel.com/RG for more details. Let's get a couple of comments. We are going to preview LSU and Ole Miss here tonight. Biggest strengths for LSU is also Ole Miss's biggest strengths. Your biggest weakness is also their biggest weakness, so we'll get to that in a minute. Tyler Townsend. Tyler, I need you to hit me up. DM me. People want these hats. I need to know how you made them. But he's in the 318-31 great. Glad that you are here with us. Dane Bergeron says, let's go, Blake. 337 in the house. Dane Bergeron still has not yet taken me duck hunting. Shame on him. Glad to have you in here, Dane. Kevin says, in the town of Livingston, the 225 Livingston Parish stand-up says, coming to you from God's country. Kevin, the only thing that I think people want to know is have you had Bojangles yet? Now, I have had Bojangles, and I'm ashamed to say that I got off a carnivore for a day. I did. I got off a carnivore for a day. I went and had some Bojangles. I had their blueberry biscuits. I did. Actually, I had a blueberry biscuit, singular. But the real question is, have you had one of those blueberry biscuits? By the way, they are on fire. Absolutely on fire. Jay Smacks is in the 337. Blake, come hunting with me. I got you. Well, hit me up. I'm over here fiending to go out there in the outdoors and go hunting. Been watching our good friends, and listen, I'm still really good friends with them. If you remember in the early days, we were always wearing First Light gear. I was talking to our friends over at Meat Eater today and First Light today, and maybe down the road we're going to be back with them. But we used to always wear their gear. I love those guys to death. But I was watching Meat Eater today. Steve Ranella and them posted some content and just chatting with them got me back into the groove. Want to go back out there and do it. But our good friends over at First Light, we're not getting paid by them. But regardless, I still love those guys. Chef says, I heard that Bojangles don't have bone-in chicken. I really don't know. The only thing I did was the day that it opened, I went and got my children some breakfast and my wife some breakfast, and I had one of those blueberry muffins. So I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It was really, really good. So when it opened, I was like, hey, this is something new I've never really tried. I'm going to make the drive and go get it. Big Precious in the building. Good to have you in here with us, Pressure. Texas Vet MF says, straight from Texas, but been a fan since a young mustache. I heard that. Absolutely heard that. Sean Carpenter's in the 828 North Carolina here. I was reading on Bojangles' thing when I went in there to get it. See, and I'm not sponsored by Bojangles, and I've mentioned them like 7 times. But in reference to Bojangles, I think the original Bojangles is from North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. I was reading on their board. So shout out to Bojangles. Maybe pay us in free biscuits one time. Cleo, the Tiger, checking in from the 719. Good to have you in here with us as well. Drew Peacock says, AYS, what are your thoughts on Jacoby and Guillory? Guys, a big part of our first-team defense. Play fantastic. And I think the rotation And listen, Drew, I can talk about this a little bit more in depth tonight. We are, because their biggest strength is your biggest strength. Their biggest weakness is your biggest weakness. But Jacobian's been fantastic. I do think that the rotation in the interior of the defensive line has been massive for you, and it's gone unnoticed. Bernard Gooden, let's call it what it is. Bernard Gooden has been a dog. He's just not making the impact plays. He's not making the tackle for loss yet, and he's going to as the season goes on. That's damn, man, Bernard Gooden. Guys, you turn on that film, and 88 is all over the field. But I do think Jacobian Guillory's done a lot of fantastic things. He's eaten up a lot of blocks. He's been so great for you, and I hope that continues. And listen, it goes unnoticed. And coming off an Achilles injury, it's a big deal that you're able to get that level of production from him. All right, let's get moving here. Again, every episode brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Go over to FanDuel.com today to sign up. Every episode is powered by our good friends over at FanDuel. Everyone do us a favor. Hit the like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Only about 100 away from 11,000 subs on YouTube. Do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button down below. We would greatly appreciate that. Wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Let me get to a quick break. When we come back and preview Ole Miss and LSU next. Carter Bryant joins us at 7:35. Looking forward to that as well. Stay with us.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Red Stick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Red Stick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Red Stick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, give Red Stick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check them out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Red Stick.
We're back.
So again, I just throw this out there. I see some people complaining in the chat in reference to going back to Ole Miss back-to-back years. If my trade-off is going to a stadium that only holds 64,000 versus having A&M, Texas, Clemson, and Alabama at home, I will gladly have that trade-off. Gladly have that trade-off. So that is, I mean, look, it sucks that you got to go back-to-back places. I hate that they did that for LSU baseball. They constantly do that for LSU baseball. You're going back to Georgia again, by the way. This year, you just went to Athens 2 years ago. I don't get it. But the home slate for the 2026 schedule is absolutely insane for LSU, and it's a positive for the fans. It's a massive positive for the fans for the home schedule. Now, 2027, 2028, 2029, that's a different story for a different day. But you do get some really, really good home games in 2026, which is a massive positive. All right. Let's get to it here. Every episode is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com today and sign up. Every episode and segment is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. All right. And do us a favor, hit the like and share. When I look at LSU and I preview LSU versus Ole Miss, the thing that comes to mind to me is strength versus strength and weakness versus weakness. What do I mean? I think the biggest strength so far this season for LSU, and you can make the argument that it's been their DB room, which I'm not going to push back on you on that. But when it comes down to it, I do think one of, if not the biggest strength for yours this season has been, as an LSU team overall through 4 weeks, is how you've defended the run. When I look at LSU in run defense, they're 10th in the country in run defense. It's the best thing statistically that you do, is you have not allowed any of these teams through the first 4 weeks run on you at all. But I also look at Ole Miss and I say to myself that their biggest strength on their entire team has been going downhill with Lacey and now having an athletic quarterback and a guy that can move in Chambliss over the last 2 weeks. They really have been effective in the first 4 weeks and versus 2 SEC opponents at running the football right at you and downhill. That's given them a lot of production. But I also look at this game and say, well, our biggest weakness is also Ole Miss's biggest weakness. Guys, we can't run the football and they can't stop it. This game is very simple for me, and we look at all these different things. We look at, hey, man, Lane's been explosive. He does this. He does that. Lane Kiffin's offenses have always been have always been about being able to run the football effectively. And that is something that they've done at a very high rate this season. But the weaknesses are also a big thing here too. Ole Miss is dead last in the SEC at defending the run. They're 120th in the country in rushing yards allowed. They've given up 762 yards on the ground so far this season, 190.5 rush yards per game, dead last, 16th in the SEC, 120th in the country. They cannot stop anybody running the football. They have had issues lining up. They have had, quite honestly, some issues of teams running right at them downhill and getting positive yards. There's been multiple ways that teams have been able to attack Ole Miss and get positive yards, and a lot of positive yards, by running the football, either going from a running back situation and going downhill, hitting some outside zone stuff. Or you look at what Taylor Green did a couple of weeks ago when Arkansas took on Ole Miss, and they just inverted, veered. They ran zone reads, and Taylor Green absolutely ate them alive. Now, a question that I do have is as much as Taylor Green absolutely ate Ole Miss alive, can you surprise this Ole Miss defense and Garrett pull a couple of these runs and zone reads and get to the outside and get some positive yardage and get down? That will be a question this week. And quite frankly, I do think Garrett needs at least 3 to 4 carries this week on some zone read stuff and see what happens after how awful, and I mean awful, they were against Arkansas. But the worst thing that Ole Miss does is stopping the run. The problem with that is you can't run the football. Guys, you're 111th in the country in rushing. You're worse than you were a year ago, statistically speaking. You were 108th in the country in rushing. Now you're sitting around 111th. And, guys, you haven't gotten anything consistent. You couldn't crack over 150 rushing yards on Southeastern. You looked pedestrian at times, even getting rushing yards on them. Which now, as it stands, which one and which side of the football from both weaknesses is going to take place? This Ole Miss team has not been able to stop anybody, and you have not been able to run on anybody. Now, I would assume that Southeastern defensively and in their front seven is not as good as Ole Miss in their front seven. That's what I would assume. So if I assume that, I don't know if your rushing game is going to be a big strength for you here. But I look at it at the other side is that, guys, whether it be Georgia State, which I think your running game's still better than theirs, whether it be some situations that they had last week versus Tulane with a very small offensive line, which, guys, Tulane's offensive line is tiny compared to yours. Can you, for the first time this season, actually line up and lean on somebody? Make right decisions, because make no mistake about it. Guys, their biggest hole, their biggest weakness, by far, not close, is teams just being able to simply line up against them and run it right down their throat. You know, I was watching the Arkansas game again today that they had, and I was surprised about how Arkansas just had two 230-plus pound backs that weren't getting touched until 10 yards down the field. How they did not have an answer at all for simple zone reads. It quite honestly reminded me a little bit of you a year ago. Guys, if there is a week that you have got to some extent, stay with the running game, and I know that you don't want to hear this, this might be it. This game to me feels as if that this could be a Juwan Johnson-led game in the running game. I don't know the status of Caden Durham, and I hope he's fully healthy, and I hope he's fully ready to go. But right now, I don't know if I have that faith that you'll be able to run the football that way. I don't know this week if you're not in a situation where you're not giving Xavion Thomas more reps and looks in the backfield. I've suggested this at a very high rate, I think more than maybe anybody, because they are not good at it. And when you have such a massive weakness through, guys, a month of the season, because Saturday is going to be a month of the season. You're going into your 5th game. So we can make all the bones. Well, teams haven't played anybody, whatever you want to make. You could even make that argument about Ole Miss to some extent. Now, I don't think Tulane's a bad team, and they did a lot better there. I don't think Arkansas is a good team at all, and they ran it right down their throats. You're going to have to find a way, whether that's putting Xavion and Juwan Johnson in the backfield and saying, listen, they have been our most productive, then do it. And I know the biggest strength for Garrett Nussmeier is not running the football. We all understand that. Do you not give it a look this week and run a simple zone read and see what happens? Because, guys, they were abysmal and were completely overwhelmed by simple zone read concepts. And they have been. Whichever weakness is the best on Saturday is going to win the football game. You know, I bring up our good friends from FanDuel in here, and I say this. I had some people ask me this week, Blake, why in the world is Ole Miss favored by 1.5 points? Well, the reason is because they know that Ole Miss defensively can't stop the running game, or they can't stop a bloody nose with a tampon. They couldn't do it. But they have more faith that they could figure it out than your rushing attack after having 17 games with Joe Sloan as your OC and it not being effective. Whichever weakness is the best, that team is probably going to win the game. And listen, no one is asking, at least I am not asking, for you to go and be in a situation where I want you to have 6-7 yards of carry. I'm never expecting that. And I'm not going to expect that at all this year. You got to get to 4 to 5 yards of carry, because this team has shown against teams that are not more talented than you that they can't get lined up, that they can get pushed around. And quite frankly, you better be able to do it. The same issues that guys like Deshaun Womack and Sage Ryan had for you are showing up on the field and on the film while they're at Ole Miss. So I asked a simple question, and really just have the simple statement. Can you run the football, and can you for once find a way to make this one a positive? Because it is their biggest weakness. Now, to flip that situation. Well, let me back up 1 second. They're not getting any penetration with their defensive line either. They're 118th in the country in tackles for loss. So that's how bad they've been. But I also got to look at the strengths. And Ole Miss's biggest strength by far has been leaning in on their running game, whether it be with Chambliss or whether Trinidad Chambliss, their new quarterback, or whether it be when even Austin Simmons was at quarterback. Guys, they want to go right downhill, and they don't do anything special in the run game. Now, they have done with Chambliss, and you better be ready for zone read, veer. You better be ready for quarterback power and quarterback counters. You better be ready for that because it's coming. Ole Miss is 25th in the country in rushing. They average 218 yards on the ground per season. Lacey, their running back, and Chambliss, guys, over the last 2 weeks are averaging over 175 yards on the ground combined. They have leaned on teams. I do think that their offensive line is far and above better than the offensive line that you saw a season ago. The thing with that one, though, is LSU is 10th in the country in rushing. 10th. From a statistical standpoint, this is the best rushing attack that you've seen because Florida wasn't it. Clemson wasn't it. This is the game that I do feel as if that based off of what we've seen through the first 4 weeks of the season, a team that actually has shown against other opponents that they can run the football. Clemson hasn't really done that much. Now, they did against Georgia Tech. And Florida really hasn't because they're not getting Jaden Ball the football enough. You know what they're going to do. Now, I do think that Lane Kiffin has some things up his sleeve for you this game. He showed you some things last week that he's going to counter off of that with Chambliss. But I am doing, if I'm Blake Baker this week, every single little thing to completely take away their running game. And I don't know if in some situations that you have to do more than be inside of your base, than to be inside the things that you already do. Guys, you've been elite on the ground defensively. From a year ago when you were the team like Ole Miss this season that couldn't stop a bloody nose with a tampon. Your best statistical strength, and what I do think your biggest strength has been all season, is how physical you've been on the line of scrimmage. Don't get what I'm saying twisted. Your DB room has also been utterly fantastic, and there's no bones being made about that. They have been, and I'm not even trying to compare. And if you want to say, well, Blake, I think it's the DBs, you're going to get no argument from me here. But when games are won at the line of scrimmage, and based off of where you came from and how teams pushed you around last season, and quite honestly, how teams pushed you around the last 2 seasons, just being in games and not being able to let teams push you around has been a massive positive. So, strength versus strength, weakness versus weakness. Whichever one of those two wins out, it's as simple as you winning the game. There are so many other complex things that we can talk about. I will say this. There was a decision made by me today after talking to some people. There are other things in this game that on the post game we are going to point out. As of right now, I am not going to point them out to you. And that's unfair. But right here, and I want you to remember this, right here on this phone, there are multiple shots and videos and photos that I think LSU defensively is going to exploit Ole Miss on. Some of you that I know listen to the show know exactly what I'm talking about. I think LSU is going to win in this run game, and I think that they're going to do everything to sell out to stop this Ole Miss run game and tell Trinidad Chambliss, beat us through the air with that secondary. And if you can do that, by all means, go right on ahead. Go right on ahead. And that has got to be your game plan. The thing I worry about the most going into this one is simple. Can you find any running game whatsoever on a defense that has had no pulse stopping it? So the strength versus strength and weakness versus weakness is something that we will discuss on this week. It's something that we will discuss and see how it played out on Saturday. That is your ball game in a nutshell. Couple other things I want to point out here. Ole Miss defensively and where I think LSU has an ultimate edge. I think Ole Miss and their safety room has been completely exposed. Stay with me here. Arkansas wide receiver Omega Blake has 24 catches on the season for well over 300 yards. 12 of those 24 catches have come over the middle at 21.5 yards per catch, per reception. Taylon Green and Arkansas's passing attack and Bobby Petrino gave you the blueprint of how to score points on this team. Now, I don't think you can run the football like they did, and you especially cannot be versatile in the run game with Garrett running the football. But my God, I think even right now, I think your passing attack is better than what Arkansas has. And Garrett loves and adores attacking the middle of the field because Arkansas ate them alive. Ate them alive attacking the middle of the field. Why Tulane? Why Georgia State? Why Kentucky, for that matter, was unable to do it is beyond me. But I tell you one damn thing. If Kentucky and Arkansas can score 24-plus points, 23-plus points on them, you sure damn well better. They completely exposed that safety room. Whether Sage Ryan was in or not, they exposed it. They are getting lost in simple zone coverages. They are getting lost in simple man coverages over and over and over again, and Arkansas completely exposed it. Again, I point out the Omega Blake stat, and I point out how good and how much Garrett Nussmeier wants to throw over the middle of the field. You go watch any Ole Miss game and how teams attack them defensively. I think that Joe Sloan, Brian Kelly, Alex Atkins, Cortez Hankton, I don't give a flying Rudy Poo who it is. You got to attack the middle of the field, whether it be with Xavion, Barryon. I think Aaron Anderson is yet again the key to the game here. They have been constantly, and Pete Golden has constantly been walking safeties down on slot guys. That is a mismatch for you with Aaron Anderson. Get him the ball early, get him the ball often, and do not go away from him. Because of Omega Blake, who, by the way, is averaging 21.5 yards per catch over the middle, and he had 4 catches over the middle against Ole Miss for 60 yards. You better do it. Actually, it was more than 6 yards. You better attack the middle of this field because I think their safety unit is a problem. So, again, to wrap up this preview, weakness for LSU versus weakness for Ole Miss. But biggest strength versus biggest strength. The advantage I give you is I think Garrett's going to be able to attack the middle of the field at a very effective rate, and it's going to win you the football game. If LSU actually does it, because it's really all they want to do in the passing game any damn way, because they're scared as chicken shit to throw the ball on the boundary. It's an intriguing game. When I preview it, that's what I see. All right. No super chats? All right, sounds good. Carter the Power Bryant joins us next. Let's get to a quick break. We'll see Carter on the other side. Stay with us. Hey, Southwest Louisiana. Are you ready to gear up for your next outdoor adventure or tackle that next big job on the farm? Then head on over to Henderson Tractors, Boats, and Power Sports. At Henderson and Lake Charles, they've got everything you need under one massive 30,000 square foot indoor showroom. Kubota tractors and mowers to power through the toughest tasks. Polaris off-road bikes and side-by-sides to conquer any trail. And tracker boats with brands like Ranger, Nitro, Sun Tracker, and Regency pontoons for a day out on the water. Whether you're a farmer or a hunter or just someone who loves the great outdoors, Henderson has what you need to get the job done and have fun while doing it. Browse their new and used inventory over at their website, hendersonimplement.com. That's hendersonimplement.com. Or give them a call today at 337-436-4366. That's 337-436-4366. Or go see them over in Lake Charles on the corner of East McNee Street and Highway 14. Remember, if you need a tractor, go to Henderson. Need a boat, go to Henderson. Or if you need an ATV or side-by-side, you know where to go. Henderson. Just let them know that your good friend Blake Ruffino over at AYS sent you on. Guys, let me tell you about our good friends over at Grand Slam Heating and Air, where your comfort is their top priority. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they promise to provide customers with high-quality HVAC service at an affordable price while ensuring the homeowner peace of mind. From their office to your home, they guarantee the best hassle-free experience around. Efficiency and comfort is their game. Let them make your home Grand Slam today. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they're offering their annual maintenance plan starting off at $18.75 a month and also doing those $99 tune-up promotion. They provide free estimates for system and ductwork replacement, as well as offering financing to get the job done with no money up front. From Baton Rouge to Hammond to Covington, they're all around. So what you need to do today, give them a call at 225-380-9065. That's 225-380-9065. Or go over to their website, getgrandslamair.com. That's getgrandslamair.com, where your comfort is their top priority.
We're back.
Good evening, good sir. How are you?
All right, Blake. We got ourselves a schedule, baby. It's time to lock in. The glory days of the SEC are in front of us, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Wait, so winning 18 of the last 22 national championships isn't the glory days?
It's going to be even better, baby. I don't care about just natties. I'm talking about
oh, God, here you
baby.
go.
The week-to-week brilliance of the Southeastern Conference is going to be a sight to behold, baby.
Name one team that Penn State's played this season.
I don't care about them.
No.
I don't care.
Can you just answer my question? Name a team Penn State has played this season.
Oh, they played. No, they've scheduled.
Okay, stop right there. I was on your show on Sunday, and you said the only thing that matters is getting to the playoff. Correct?
Yeah.
It was the last sentence you said. Okay, so stop right there. If that is your statement that you have, going to a tougher schedule does not benefit you because you already have it.
Yeah.
That's like saying you have a honey who's already a 10, but you want her to get implants.
No, I mean, if that's what you wanted to do, you go right on ahead. That's not what my wife or whoever wants
or
to do.
Or a BBL.
Here's my thing, Blake, is that I'm not just playoff focused when it comes to this sport. Like what we're about to witness this next weekend, we're going to have more of these weekends where you have all these epic games in one weekend. Next year, when we have all these epic games, I am excited that Texas is coming to Baton Rouge. I embrace that we are going to get to go to every stadium once every 4 years. I'm excited for that. I am so pumped up for that. And look, you are undoubtedly right, Mr. Blake Ruffino, that it is indeed a lot harder to make the playoff in what LSU and all the other SEC schools are going to have to do next year. But here's a big thing. Everyone's going to get better content. We're going to get better games. I can live without playing South.
Oh, it's going to fill our pockets.
Yeah, and it's not just that. It's like I want Texas. I want to play Georgia at home. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to 2029 when we play Georgia for the first time in 11 years. We don't have to worry about that anymore. So I am super pumped up for the 9-game conference schedule. I like LSU's slate in particular next year. So
yeah, home games are nice.
I'm pumped up, man, but I'm also pumped up that we're getting to play Ole Miss this weekend. Go to hell. This is my new most hated team on the schedule. Blake, for me, that's always been Florida. Can't be Florida anymore because we all have 1% hatred in our heart. And all of that hate goes towards that team I can't stand. It used to be Florida. Can't be Florida anymore. It's going all to Ole Miss. I hate them. Their burners are the worst burners.
They started off with the Kyron Lacey thing, and they've been so horrible. So horrible.
Insane. I've been called 2 different racial epithets, which is crazy. Dude, they're going deep in their pockets, man.
Like what?
Well, I can't. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to lose your sponsorships.
Okay. Don't say the words, but are they? It's very vulgar.
Yeah, it's not the worst one, but it's a pretty bad one.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding, bro. Like, and the funny thing is, the dude had to go find, like, because my profile photo on Power Hour LSU is just my logo. But he had to go find like a stream of mine to call me this word. But there's a time and place for it. That's why they're faceless, right?
No, there is no time and place for saying something like that.
Exactly. But some people need to get that hate out of their heart. They do, for whatever reason, under a faceless burner. So you're right. There is no time and place for it. But I wish that person joyful happiness in calling me that name. I don't wish
their wives cheat on them and their sons never talk to them again. All right. Every episode, every segment with Carter is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Go over to FanDuel.com today to sign up. I see Dane super chatting here. We'll get to in a minute. Carter, what's the biggest thing you're watching for in this Ole Miss game?
Yeah, so tomorrow, Blake, we are on Power Hour LSU. This is the deepest film study I've ever done, getting ready for an opponent. And Lanekiffin is so good at running deep overs, which is just a simple route concept.
Deep drags, right.
Right. So it's not quite like a slant or a post. It's a curved route, if you will. And he is the absolute best at doing it. And there's one variation that they ran versus Tulane called Spear. And Spear is a play design that 2019 LSU used quite a bit. They're probably the best offense you'll ever see running this concept. And Ole Miss hit Spear twice for big gains versus Tulane. Now, does that mean that they're going to run it? No, but this film study is going to be a 20-minute expose just on Spear and how they actually ran different variations of Spear versus us last year. You go back, you look at the 2 big gains that they had in the passing game versus LSU last year. They were on deep overs, more so on a concept called Yankee. So this is an offense that likes to get explosive. This is a very heavy double move vertical offense. So you got to be ready for it. Whether it's Austin Simmons or Trinidad Chambliss, I think it is going to be Mr. Chambliss this weekend. I will also say, Blake, they have not faced a defense with these kind of athletes. We've seen what Arkansas's defense looks like. They are the worst defense in the SEC, and I'm not sure if there's a close second. So they lit them up, and then we don't know what Tulane really is. So on tape, they are really good. They're weak on their offensive line. And
you think Ole Miss is?
Yes, they've got some really, really big weak links, in particular in the middle. And they have really struggled with explosive, quick, 3-technique defensive tackles. It was a problem.
They've been better this year versus last, though, however.
Well, I will say, Patrick Custis, the transfer from Arkansas, has been getting abused by these quicker DTs. So this could be a Bernard Gooden type of game, like we saw the flashes of excellence versus Clemson.
It's not the only position I think LSU is keying in on the offensive line for Ole Miss. I said before we came into the show, there is something on Saturday I'm going to point out that I think LSU is going to attack along their offensive line. I'm going to wait and hold off to that on Saturday.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, because I think that they're going to key in on it. I'm not.
You're not leaking nothing.
There are other media members who would run it to Twitter because hashtag I formation. But
let's go.
I'm going to wait. But it is on this handy dandy phone. What I would say is, Carter, what do you make of their run game then? I mean, because they are 25th in the country in rushing. They are bullying some teams in some situations. And I know Lacey's been very physical.
Yeah, he's been really good. He is a very, very good running back. And it's strange because Logan Diggs is their backup. And he's been good for them in spots, too. Had a big run.
Our best back right now.
Yeah, I would probably say so. especially with Caden's health situation. Man, Lane is the best at sequencing his runs. The Kentucky game was one of the most beautifully called run games, especially in that fourth quarter when they put that game away. And Blake, there's so many aspects to the Lane Kiffin run game that involves a QB run game. Obviously, Chambliss is probably equal to that of Jackson Dart as a runner, maybe even a little bit better. And the way they pull their offensive linemen is a thing of beauty. And what Lane will do is he will flip it, where he will pull all his linemen and have them all go to the right, but the run is actually going in the complete opposite direction. They did that 2 times to ice the Kentucky game away, and they still couldn't stop it. So as a defense, you just got to carry out your keys, do your job, and really do your film study this week, because you're going to see a little bit of everything. But you are right, Blake. I didn't expect Quan Lacey to be as good as he's been, but man, he's good. He's very
physical. And look, I think this is the best rushing attack clearly that you faced all year. And to your point with Chambliss, they're running some things, Carter, that are very unconventional with him. And even like when you had Jaden Daniels, I mean, the unconventional, to your point, being like their offensive line's going zone right, like just simple zone right blocking schemes, and they're running a speed option to the left.
It's crazy.
So you have situations where the linebackers are flowing everywhere to their left or to the right of the offense, and they're running a speed sweep for a touchdown or speed option for a touchdown. I said this. I think it's their biggest strength versus our biggest strength, because you have not allowed teams to run the football either. And we talk about Chambliss. Let me ask you this one of two-part question here. Does Chambliss's running ability worry you at all?
It does, but the scary thing about it is he's not even a top 4 runner on the rest of your schedule. I mean, you got some real dudes left. So, yeah, it does worry me. The thing that would worry me more, Blake, though, is if he does run all over us and we're totally hopeless, then LSU is in a really tough spot the rest of the year, because the runners just get so much better with Sellers and Talon. Now the offenses aren't as good maybe as Ole Miss's offense. And another thing, Blake, their receivers have been a lot better than I thought.
Wallace has been really good. Lee's been really good.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is, like, I thought for sure, I know he's more of a slot guy, and Lane is a far more vertical play caller, but 11 and 2 have far outperformed Caden Lee, number 19, their slot guy. Mm-hmm. And 11 and 2 in particular, their name slipped my mind. I know one of them's a trainer.
Stripling and
so that's a scary thing. Stribling is the Oklahoma State transfer. He's number 1. That's a deeper cut. Mm-hmm. So they went into the portal and got a lot of these wide receivers, and they all look really good. But 11 and 2 have been amazing for them.
Wallace has been insane. He's been insanely good. Yeah.
And then their tight end's good. He's thick. They don't have Arkansas's Luke Haas. Yeah. And
number 8. Yeah.
I'm not sure if he would play with the way 8 has been playing. He is a monster. And the scary thing about it is he's got real yak ability. For a guy his size to be able to really plant his foot into the ground and hit a gear, it's something. But
he's not running fast. It's just teams can't bring him down, man.
Yeah, he's a load, man. He kind of, it's like a faster J.C. Copeland, if you will. But if I were LSU fans, I understand we're really high on their offense. They just have not faced the athletes that they will face on defense. Mm. And the thing is, you can out-athlete Kiffin's genius, right? Like, you'll see tomorrow.
Saban did.
Yeah, I mean, LSU's got real dudes, man. They've got guys that can cover. They've got guys that can actually run with these guys. I cannot stress enough how bad Arkansas's defense is. It is one of the worst defenses I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's really bad.
In the SEC, and obviously that's a team that I cover relatively closely. There's some cultural issues going on behind the scenes as well with that. this is the exact opposite, Blake. You're super plugged in with LSU. This unit is together. This unit is willing to sacrifice their glory for someone else to go make a play.
Yeah,
And
Jack Blackburn's done it all season.
Yeah, and you go back and you look at the reason why that 2023 all-time great Jaden Daniels performance was thrown away is that you had a bunch of selfish players going for the big hit on defense and not just bringing guys down, doing their own thing, getting torched. You've got actual dudes now that could go out there and get the damn job done. And that's what has me really excited about LSU going into this game versus a really hot quarterback in Chambliss.
Now, I talked about earlier, weakness versus weakness.
Yeah.
Carter, you just can't run the football right now. And the thing is, they can't stop it. I mean, look, they're dead last in the SEC in defending the run. Dead last. 3-4 weeks. I know Taylor Green had a massive game on him, and I know Georgia State didn't really score on them a lot. They are getting torched in the run game. And I got to be real with you. I know you're going to push back on this, and I understand it. I am giving Juwan Johnson and Xavion Thomas, if it were me, I'm giving them at least 8 carries in this game. And I mean Xavion Thomas, because here's what I think LSU could exploit. You can let Xavion line up in the backfield because I don't think either one of them, the corners, the boundary guys, can cover Chris or Barion. I don't. And I think they're going to be terrified and back out. I really do. They don't get – Carter, they can't get lined up in man-to-man coverage, hashtag Sage Ryan. But I also sit here in a situation and listen, in this game in particular, I won't talk about it again this season. Carter, they are getting their asses whooped up front. You got to find a run game. You got to. And I don't like Caden Durham's injury, whatever. You got to get positive yards. And if 8 and 0 are giving you positive yards, you got to go and hit it.
And they've had issues just lining up. You know, they've been disorganized. I mean, you mentioned, you brought up Omega Blake's name. He's very underrated, by the way.
No doubt.
Just destroyed them on horizontally breaking routes. So where you could beat them, obviously Garrett is one of the best intermediate throwers. We know Aaron is going to be in for a big game. But they have been so bad defensively. You want to be able to run the ball some, right? If you can't run the ball on them on this defensive line, then which SEC defensive line are you going to be able to run on?
None.
That's how bad they are. The only defense in the SEC that I've seen worse is Arkansas, and you don't play them until way later in the season. So even if you might be the lowest Weston Davis person out there, which you know a lot of people are, this matchup is good for him, right? This should be the one where 5 games into it, there's people like me and you saying, hey, we have no run game. I hope the offensive line's watching me right now, doubting them. Let me be the doubter. Make me be your bulletin board material. That's how badly I want you to do it. But even versus his front, Blake, I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I don't. I hope they will. Use me as bulletin board material, please. But you should be able to. And there's a piece of me that thinks Juwan or someone, Xavion's going to break one.
Boy, I hope so. Does Sertain Perkins, their Perkins, scare you versus our tackles? Because I do think they're going to put him on Weston Davis and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be able to turn the edge, as many have been able to. But you can work around it, right? You can give him help, and if that's the case, then everyone else on your front's got to step up. Tyrese put together some good performances here, and if he continues to play, can he survive on an island versus Ole Miss? Let's hope so. And then Barrett Sharp's been good, so hopefully you can use him more as a blocker, and then have him block and then leak, and he can leak out and you get some big gains that way. There's a lot of different ways you can manufacture things offensively versus Ole Miss.
Hell, do the Yankee concept against them. I mean, you're talking about
run Yankee, baby.
Well, you're talking about. I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, your Yankee concept is the deep drag, post, or in on the boundary.
No, Yankees a two-man concept where it's a deep post,
play action, and the deep post and a
yeah,
drag.
yeah, but no, you're in the vicinity,
right?
Right, yeah.
Well, I mean, hit it on them because listen, Omega Blake had 4 catches for 70 yards against Ole Miss in the middle of the field.
Dude, he torched him. He torched him. And one was just one of the worst coverage busts of all time. And I was like, yeah, Sage Ryan's in that secondary. He's got to be. So it's
he's the one that made the tackle.
It's what I would say, Blake, is they do have some good players. 51 at defensive tackle is a good player for them. He
Perkins
gave us
is a good player.
He gave us some issues last year, but that was also because he was playing next to Walter Nolan and he caved our faces in on almost every snap. Those guys just aren't there anymore. I mean, it's honestly just as simple as that. They had a really all-time great SEC defense last year, and they wasted it. So now you're here, and you should be able to have a big day. And Blake, I think Garrett will. I do. He had some bad turnovers in this game last year, but he was mostly really, really good. Can he get it done on the road? I hope so. I really do.
Would you implement any run game stuff with him? Let me explain. He's not a great runner. We all get it.
Yeah.
Taylen Green, I mean, it was so bad. It was so bad. And I know Taylen Green's a special athlete. I got to be real with you. I don't know if you don't give Garrett 4 or 5 carries and just like zone read it early to see what happens because, Carter, that's how bad they were. Taylen Green had 3 runs of 45 yards per PFF on simple zone read of the 150 he gained. 15 yards per carry.
Oh, he wasn't getting touched. Now we'll say he is so elite at the mesh point pull stuff, but it still would have gone. It could have been John Elway.
For us, I don't care if it just go 5 yards. But to the point of it, do you give Garrett any looks in the run game at all after how bad that was? Or here's an interesting concept. Do you do it with Jawan Johnson?
I mean, do you trust a Wildcat snap?
No, not based off of what I saw in camp. No, but
okay. So that's what I was going to bring up. It's like, well, you and I have talked about how we don't want.
But it's that bad though. That's the point. Is it was so bad against an SEC opponent who might be I hate to say this, Arkansas might be the worst overall team because of that defense. Carter, it's that bad though.
Yeah, no, you got to be able to. You've got to be able to run on these guys. I mean, if there is one team you can run on, it is indeed them. And then, of course, Blake, we get to special teams. It's going to be big. They've got a good field goal kicker. Mm-hmm. So, it's something. Now, let's just say the offensive.
Do you get Nuss involved though? To that question, do you get him involved at all?
In the run game, yeah, I've always been a proponent. Just pull it once, and then the defense knows that they have to care about it. If you never pull it, I mean, think about it, if Nuss doesn't pull it that one time versus Clemson, that was a big play in that game. Just that one run. So you don't know how much that could have affected everything else for the rest of the game. So.
God, his scramble, too, against Clemson was so big, too. In the Florida one, too, even though both of them got called back for holding. Nelson's had some big runs this year for him. Like, for him, he's had some big runs.
No. Let me ask you this. So you're on Sunday night, and you weren't shocked that Ole Miss was favored.
No, not at all.
Yeah, this is about where I would have it as well. It is almost by a point and a half. Let's go to the Lanekiffin tweet.
Okay.
He's telling you go take the over. He said go slam the over. Here's the thing, Blake. He not only tweeted.
It's also a fine. It's also illegal in part SEC bylaws, by the way.
Okay, so that was kind of weird because here's my thing. If I was in the building of any college institution and I was getting paid like most people in these P4 jobs, like north of a six-figure salary, I am never saying the word sports betting. I'm not touching anything sports betting related.
I mean, here's the thing that I bring up, though. He's making a joke.
Right. It's a clear joke.
It's a clear joke. And I think common sense in this, the reason I didn't freak out about it and I got said the whole SEC rule, can we just use common sense?
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Look, we try to be so, oh my God, we try to act like football Karens, you know, like the woman in the Walmart who's got the spiky hair in the back and she's got blonde highlights. Like, don't be a Karen. He's joking. He's a troll.
Yeah. And I would want to come up with something clever if, you know, my daughter's business was hard launched. It was her that did it.
Well, and that's the thing he's playing off of, right? He's playing off of the Wit Weeks thing. Right. He's I mean, I don't know. I mean, people want to see him suspended, and I get it, but let's go beat them with his ass there.
No, I don't want him suspended. I never want to win like that. I will say, Blake, this game opened at 56. Wait, what was that? What did you do?
So, like, if you twist a bottle and then you like do the top,
Were you trying to scare your audience? Scare me?
I don't know why I'm doing that. I don't know why I'm doing
that. But it opened at 56.5. It's down to 54.5. I mean, would you still lean the under, or do you think?
I know somebody at FanDuel who would take the under. Their lowest point would be under 51.5.
Isn't that a key number, 51 in over-unders? I think it's like 51 and 62. I'm not smart enough to know. But
there was some non-bias from some betting guys I know. They were highly impressed, even though it was Southeastern, what Nuss did. About being basically in their statistical analysis with the drops, they considered it a perfect game from him. Even with the sacks included. Like a perfect game. So I do have hope about this passing attack, but Carter, it also just gets to a point where, like, I think he's gonna play better. I like Southeastern, but look, I've seen quarterbacks around the country not do better. Like, let me give an example. Okay, just as a prime example here, I literally saw John Mateer struggle against Temple in the first half. Struggle, like they couldn't do anything.
No, I thought the first drive of that game was really, really good. I thought the first half was good.
They literally had 21 yards after that in the first half. They had to get short fields.
Oh, yeah, it was turnovers. Okay, I get what you're saying, yeah. The first drive was really good.
Well, they can't run the ball either.
Yeah, the Jaden
Which brings up the whole Texas point, right? Like, how many backups is Texas going to play?
That was crazy. I saw you tweet that out. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because I have Oklahoma power rated number 3 in the SEC, and
even though they can't run the ball,
yeah,
they cannot run the ball. They're worse than you running the football.
Yeah, but
John Mateer.
But they have a pulse offensively, though.
Do they?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think they do without John Mateer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I knocked him down. I'm down at 8 now without Mateer because he was their offense. So
he was there. I mean, he's the Coca-Cola Manziel version of Jaden Daniels.
Coca-Cola Manziel version of Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, and I didn't want to say the Coke version of Johnny Manziel, but it's the truth.
Let me ask you something again. What do you think's the deal with the Lagway?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I know you brought this up on Sunday in reference to should he redshirt. I think you need the reps, but I mean, you're with a lame duck coach.
Yeah, I think he's done, dude. I think he's done.
Would you take him?
I would need to know like price and all those different things.
Yeah, because you have 2 years of 2 injuries. He literally just came in your building and threw 5 picks, and then quite frankly, I think you need to have the discussion about Michael Van Buren.
Yeah, it's a hard sell. That's a hard sell for not only me. Like, I would be a little bit more excited about it if I was a team that didn't have the 5 interception game. But yeah, I'm out. I'm out. I was low on him going into the season. Like, going into the season, he had the worst QBR of any starter LSU was going to play this year. So I'm not like totally shocked he's done this. I was kind of shocked, like how many national guys had him as the best quarterback in college football going into this year. And I was like, man, I don't know. I could understand getting caught up in arch hype, but not Lagway hype. It was.
No, I still think it's Sellers. Sellers literally didn't have a rush until the third quarter last week versus Missouri and torched a team through the pocket. I had a front office GM in the South in the NFL text me Sunday morning at 5:30 in the morning and said, if we needed a quarterback, we take Lenore Sellers tomorrow.
And I need one. I'm kidding.
No, this team does not need a quarterback. It's not the Saints. It's in the state of Texas.
Oh, okay. So,
and it's not in Dallas.
No, it's 0-3.
He was mesmerized that Norris did what he did from the pocket. He's like, everybody knew he could run, and he's a freak athlete. Brother, he torched Nick Harbor's not a great receiver. He's a great athlete, but they ain't got shit at receiver, and he was diming them up.
Dude, Mizzou's good, man. They're fighting Ahmad Hardy.
I am mad that we didn't take Ahmad Hardy. I'm mad we didn't take a portal running back in back-to-back classes.
It is. I will never get over them not getting a portal running back. But then again, that sounds so spoiled because, the portal class was so great. But I felt they needed a portal running back.
Look at you now.
Yes, I mean we're in a tough spot. We're in a tough spot.
There's
some other SEC related question I wanted to ask you, but it slips my mind.
Oh, you got this weekend, Georgia or Bama?
No. Okay, this was it. Out of all the extra games,
Oregon, Penn State.
Yes, I'm with you. I'm excited about that one.
Oregon, Penn State.
I will also say, I want everyone to enjoy this weekend. This, I think,
God, it's going to be so good.
Dude,
you can sit on your couch from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and just have on ABC if you wanted to, and have a fantastic day.
You get the Lou Holtz Bowl in the morning, with the potential coach firing happening after that.
By the way, I got to be real with you. If Arkansas goes and stays with Petrino, the whole front office and athletic department deserves to be fired.
Whoa, okay. Go on ahead. I'll send this to my Arkansas buddies. Let's see what you got.
You cannot allow Juracek and you cannot allow Petrino to pull one over on you like this. They're pulling one over on you. And if Bobby Petrino will stab the head coach that technically was over hiring him in the back, what will he else do? The last time this man was here, he got on a motorcycle with a secretary and fell off the son of a bitch and got fired. Now he's stabbing the head coach in the back. Let me ask you this question. When games are getting close, is he doing something to lose them so that he can take that interim job? If you're going to stab him in the back now, you'll definitely stab him in the back during a game. Like, let me give an example. Why in the hell did you call a draw play on 3rd and 9 when you're down a score against Ole Miss?
So you think he could be nefariously tanking?
Carter, you know that state better than most. Is he not going behind Sam Pittman's back and stabbing him in the back to get the interim job next week?
Well, phone calls have been made. He wants it. Last year it wasn't quite like this, but he wants it.
What a sleazeball! What a sleazeball!
No, well, Blake, you're not Arkansas fans have embraced the sleaziness. If you have been through pain that these
And
guys,
that's why you get beaten in Omaha the way that you did, because you allow that shit. And that's why curses happen.
no, dude, that is okay.
No,
This fan base, Blake, you cannot.
they don't deserve shit.
No, Blake. Oh my goodness,
They
dude,
don't deserve shit. Clip this and send it to your wife. She doesn't deserve to be on that.
No, don't do that to me, man. Don't. Look. There's no fan base that deserves what that fan base.
Arkansas.
There's no curse bigger than the Arkansas Razorback curse.
When
It's
Arkansas fans go to
Chicago Cubs, wish the Chicago Cubs had it easy compared to what Arkansas fans have.
No, they don't. They win 100+ years, and Moses Alou.
Dude, no, it's not close. It's not close.
They got an out away from the World Series, and a fan hit a foul ball off of Moises Alou's.
And Arkansas was an out away from a World Series, and they dropped a point.
They got to beat LSU.
Ball.
They're not. They got to play Arkansas. They got to play LSU.
No, I'm not even talking. I'm talking about 2018 when they dropped a foul.
They choked because Dave Van Horn's a choke job. Okay,
well, Arkansas. That's the thing. Arkansas fans do not disagree with you on that.
Okay, hold on. When Arkansas fans go to sleep at night, they secretly wish and daydream that they're LSU.
Oh, they do. I tell them all the time. That's why the Golden Boot is everything to them. It's their Super Bowl.
By the way,
I would not disagree with you. I'm just telling you, there is no fan base that has been through more than that fan base. None. It does not exist.
Speaking of that, are you cool with the permanent opponents you got before I get you out of here?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think
they were never giving us Bama, and that's why I tweeted that in August. I'm like, look, bro. I came on your show and said, listen, I'm not guessing. I was never guessing when I sent that tweet out. By the way, in that they were never giving you Bama ever, and they weren't giving Bama, Tennessee, Auburn, and you. They weren't doing it.
And that was more of a Bama thing, by the way. Like that was a big holdup. Was Nick did not want to play because obviously Alabama's got to keep Auburn on there, and they got to keep Tennessee on there. You got to have the third Saturday in October, but he didn't want LSU to be the final one, even though that's been the premier SEC matchup for 15 years now. It's been even though they've mostly
he admitted it. Hold on, pause. You do know he admitted that.
Yeah, that's not like that's the thing. It's not that's not me with inside information. That's
he admitted that on live television.
Because what? Okay, I can go on and on about this passion. This topic because you and I have screamed at each other about the 8 versus 9 thing. But what I would say is, many moons ago, Nick was the only coach who voted for 9 compared to 8. They did a vote in Destin.
2017, right?
Yeah, it was either then, it might have been a little bit earlier or whatever. And he was the only one that said, hey, I'm down with 9. And everybody else voted against it because, well, they wanted to keep their jobs, to have one less game. And then obviously that changed when Nick became, once he learned about the permanent thing, he was like, I don't want to play LSU every year on top of also playing Auburn and Tennessee every year. So look, LSU's been the one school in this whole thing that has been very public about saying we're not scared of anybody. And and they I think correct me if I'm wrong, I think LSU would have been fine keeping Alabama on the schedule every year.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Go for it.
I know for a fact that some high-level money people in the southeast of the state made very angry phone calls if we would have given up Ole Miss. I know some very massive people in the 318 that give shitloads of money to the athletic department who said and told people in power, if you get rid of Arkansas, our money's gone. If you don't fight to keep Arkansas, our money's gone.
That's a big deal.
However, the third one came from what I understand and why I sent that thing out in August was a geographical thing, not for LSU, but for A&M. And they didn't think it was fair for A&M to have to go and pass LSU to go to a Mississippi school more than once. So I think that when you got in a situation where everybody wants to focus in on how they did it, I don't think LSU's was based off of all LSU, meaning Arkansas, they wanted LSU. To be real with you, if you go look at A&M people, they wanted LSU more than Bama. Bama wanted other teams besides you. Here's the only thing. You cannot convince me that you shouldn't have had Florida over A&M.
Oh, dude, yeah, I would have.
Florida more than Bama and A&M to me should have been your third permanent opponent.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. And we disagree on a lot. I couldn't agree more on that. Like, dude, and so
think of since the 90s, Carter, since 97, 96, like this has been the premier game before the whole shit with Saban went down. We literally had a decade before Saban left and got to Bama, and that game was still played.
Yeah,
like
Kev Paul got it going.
Well, think of 2019 with Kyle Trask. Think of the shoe game. Think of all the crazy shit. Think of Tebow in 08. Just killed us. The invention of the jump pass came against LSU.
That still shatters me, man. Some of those Tebow games were insane.
They perfected that.
I will also say, so there was an A&M YouTuber who I know vaguely. I've emailed him a few times, and he was like, "Oh, it was definitely LSU side of things. LSU wants to make this A&M thing."
No, they don't.
Dude,
no,
I'm like, I just want Texas A&M YouTubers and bloggers to be right about something. You weren't right about Jimbo.
They're not right about this. I promise you they're not.
Dude, I was like, there couldn't, even from a fan or like an actual insider's point of view,
LSU could care less. LSU does not want you.
Yeah, dude, it is the exact opposite. It is the exact opposite.
They don't want nothing to do with you. We think that they're weird as shit. We wanted nothing to do with them. I will be honest with you. I'll be real with you. I think Scott fought for Florida, and I think Florida backed out, really.
Interesting.
By the way, just so everybody knows, this will never come out. You know that all of these ADs had to agree on it, and there was a lot of infighting. A lot of infighting.
Well,
like for an example, I heard Bama was like, so you want us to go to Auburn and Tennessee, and you want us to have LSU. And to their point, it's like, all right, I understand it. Be real with you, outside of Tennessee, you got the best draw.
Who LSU did?
We did, yes.
Easily. Yes, easily.
Think about this, Carter. You're only averaging one loss the last decade between your three permanent opponents.
Yeah, and Arkansas and Ole Miss, they're not serious about actually winning a natty. Ole Miss went through that last year. They're not serious about it. And Arkansas definitely isn't.
Neither really is A&M until they can actually get a 9-win season.
Yeah, Arkansas is all in on basketball now. They're a basketball school. And rightfully so when you have Calipari there. Now Pearl's gone.
Well, you better figure it out now because you're firing Sam Pittman, and no one's going to take that job of seriousness until you give a shitload of money. And I got to be real with you. I think Van Horn's going to get a percentage or two cut from him.
Oh, from his
yeah, it's going to kill Arkansas baseball, but they made a decision. You watch what I'm telling you.
They're never going to win the whole thing in baseball, though. They're so cursed. It's not even.
Well,
Lloyd, just a 6-4-3 double play. You're the best. You were the Golden Spikes winner. Turn that bitch. Turn it.
And here's the thing.
6-4-3. That's all you got to do.
And here's the thing. When it got crunch time, he was worse than Stephen Milam. Zach Cowan struck him out 4 times in 6 plate appearances.
When the
lights are brightest, you can always count that Arkansas is going to piss down their leg.
And you can always count on Monster Milam to come through, baby.
Every time, baby.
Every time. You can't.
Jay Johnson. By the way, if baseball recruiting were the equivalent of football recruiting, people would be calling Jay Johnson Nick Saban. After what Jay just pulled inside the state and what he just did for the 2027 class. Carter, they are going to shatter records in that recruiting class. Shatter.
Oh, we're cooking that much right now?
Yes.
Oh, we're cooking, Jay. I'm sleeping on you, bro.
Bro,
I'm sleeping on you, Jay.
I don't think people understand. It's not that they got the guys that they know that they're going to the draft. They have got guys that have already said that they're probably going to college, and people would take them in the top 15 picks.
Well, by the way, I'm not sleeping on Jay as a coach. I love him, obviously. I'm just saying I didn't know he was. I don't follow baseball recruiting. I'm just like,
we would be calling him the baseball Nick Saban.
let's go,
That's
Jay.
exactly what we'd be calling
bro.
him. He's cooking. Talk about border and putting borders around the state.
Let's go, Jay.
He basically took a dump on every SEC coach in the country. These last 2 weeks on both of these home games, literally Jay Johnson has taken a dump on the entire SEC.
Well, you're telling me Tennessee's not the number one program of all time? You're not telling me that.
Actually, the truth of the matter is there were 3 commits that Jay Johnson got that the school that was second was Tennessee, and we shoved them in a locker.
Tony V, bro. Tony.
In a locker.
Tony. God, dog. And I
whipping that ass.
And dude, the Tennessee fan base, I freaking love them. But y'all got to stop with these baseball tweets, bro. Tennessee fans, dude, their baseball stuff is just getting out of control. All right,
let's get to these super chats really quick. I'll get you out of here. Dane said he joined FanDuel. Oh, righty, Dane. Thank you so much. He says, I bet big so that I can take you on a nice hunting trip. I hope he wins.
Yeah.
But FanDuel.com. That's where they need to go. Thank you, Dane, for the $5 super chat. And I hope you hit massive this week. Frank Castle sends a $5 super chat. He says, question for the both of you. At what point is Frank Wilson to blame for his room making mistakes and slightly regressing, as much as I love Frank?
Yeah, I mean, you would like this room to be better. I mean, everyone's got a gazillion questions about Caleb Jackson. I do think Frank's gotten unlucky that, 2 of his pieces are gone. There was, I mean, what could he do about that? With JT Lindsay and Trey Holly, they whatever happened, and they're not there. So that was 2 guys.
Well, the counteract to that would be you could have gone in the portal.
And I know I've said it a gazillion times, but it was. I would not have gone into the season with the running back room being the way that it was now. And that's why
your best running back plays X.
Yeah. And honestly, even if that were the case and you're counting on Xavier Thomas, you're just very lucky Juwan Johnson is being what he's been, to go from DB to quarterback to running back, and then not only play running back, do all these different things at running back. It's not like normally if a running back is shifting positions, you're only doing one thing. You're catching passes, you're lining up at receiver. I mean, you're doing a lot. So, yeah, I mean, running back depth has never been a problem at
Bijan went to Texas as a quarterback.
Oh, yeah. It's not like and Roshan Johnson did too, but it's still something that Juwan has done what he's done. And
it might not have been Bijan.
What?
It might not have been Bijan then.
No, it was Roshan Johnson, but Roshan was a quarterback and he moved to running back. But to the super chatter's point, yeah, I think Frank, if he was sitting right here, would tell you, hey, I wish Caleb was the guy we expected him to be, but we'll see.
They don't have any vision.
It's tough. It's really tough. And
they have no feel. They're pitter-pattering at the line of scrimmage. And poor Caleb Jackson, every time he gets the ball, he's getting hit at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of
scrimmage. Caleb gets unlucky. His only carry in the Ole Miss game last year was that 4th down option
that Nuss should have not given. He should have kept it.
There was also a shovel option on that play, and that got blown up too. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. All right, buddy.
We'll see you, bud.
See you, bud. Cheers.
All right. Yeah, I think it was Rayshon Johnson. I think I was wrong there. All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a blessed night. Peace.